On the edge of a small, quiet town, there stood an old wooden house. Its paint had faded with time, and the windows always seemed to watch the street like tired eyes. The house belonged to a teenage girl named Amara and her grandmother, Nana Rose. From the day Amara could walk, Nana Rose had told her one rule: never go near that locked door. The door stood at the end of the long hallway, dark brown and covered in dust. Its metal handle was rusty, and a heavy chain hung across it. Nobody ever talked about what was behind it, not even when Amara asked. Amara was 17 now, full of questions and a heart that refused to be quiet. Every night as she walked past that door, she felt like it was listening. The silence behind it wasn't normal. It was heavy, like something was breathing on the other side. One rainy night, as thunder rolled across the sky, Amara woke up suddenly. Her window rattled in the wind and she heard something strange, a faint sound like a whisper. It came from the hallway. From the door she sat up, heart racing, listening carefully. The whisper came again. It was soft, almost like someone calling her name, Amara. She froze. The voice was faint, almost hidden by the storm, but she heard it clearly. Amara opened the door. Her hands trembled. She pulled the blanket over her head, trying to ignore it. But the whisper didn't stop. It grew softer, sadder, like someone begging. The next morning, Amara asked Nana Rose, "Grandma, what's behind that door?" Nana Rose stopped stirring her tea. Her wrinkled hands shook. "Don't speak of that door, child. It holds what should never be free." Amara frowned. "But I heard something last night. Someone called my name." Nana Rose looked into her eyes, her face pale. "That door is locked for a reason. If you value your soul, you'll stay away." For the rest of the day, Amara couldn't focus on anything else. Even at school, her mind stayed on the door. Her best friend Lila noticed. "Girl, what's wrong with you today?" Amara told her about the voice. Lila laughed nervously. "Probably the wind. Or your house just haunted. You always say weird things happen there." But Amara knew it wasn't the wind. It said her name. That night, she tried to sleep early, but the storm returned, heavier than before. Rain slapped the windows and the house groaned. Around midnight, she heard it again. "Amara." The voice was clearer now, closer, her heart beat fast. She quietly got up and opened her door. The hallway was dark except for a dim light from the moon shining through the window. The old floor creaked under her bare feet as she moved closer to the locked door. Her breath showed in the cold air. The door stood tall, quiet, too quiet. "Who's there?" Amara whispered. For a moment, nothing. Then from behind the door, "Help me!" It was a woman's voice, weak, scared. Amara stepped back, her eyes wide. "Who are you?" But no answer came, just the soft sound of someone crying. She ran back to her room and covered herself with the blanket. Her heart wouldn't stop pounding. The next morning she tried to tell Nana Rose again, but her grandmother's eyes filled with tears. "Don't you understand, child? That voice took your mother away." Amara froze. "What do you mean?" "Took her away?" But Nana Rose turned away, whispering a prayer under her breath. Amara didn't remember much about her mother. She only had an old photograph, a woman with kind eyes and a gentle smile holding baby Amara in her arms. Her mother had disappeared when she was 3. Everyone said she ran away, but Nana Rose never talked about it. That night, Amara couldn't resist. She stood in front of the locked door again, staring at it. The wood seemed darker now, almost alive. She reached out and touched it, cold as ice. Suddenly something clinked and fell at her feet. A small silver key. She picked it up. It was old, dusty, but it glowed softly in her hand. Her eyes widened. She looked around. Nana Rose's door was shut. No one else was awake. The key was warm, like it wanted her to use it. Amara whispered to herself, "Who put this here?" As she held the key tightly, a low whisper floated from behind the door again. "Open it, Amara." Her fingers shook. The key seemed to pulse like it had a heartbeat. She dropped it, stepping back in fear. Then the voice changed. It sounded like her mother's voice now. "Baby, and it's me. Please help me." Tears filled Amara's eyes. She wanted to believe it. She wanted her mother back. But deep inside, something felt wrong. The lights flickered. The floor creaked. And then, a single soft knock came from the other side of the door. Knock, knock, knock. Amara stared at the door, frozen in fear. The key glowed again on the floor. The whispers turned into quiet laughter. She ran to her room, slamming the door shut. Her hands covered her ears, but she could still hear the faint voice calling from the hallway. Amara, you found the key. Now open the door. As the thunder roared outside, the camera slowly zooms in on the glowing key lying in the dark, waiting for her to pick it up again. Morning sunlight crept through the dusty curtains of Amara's room. She opened her eyes slowly, her mind still heavy from the strange night before. For a moment she thought it was just a dream. But when she turned her head, her heart froze. The silver key was lying on her bedside table. It was shining faintly, as if it had been waiting for her to wake up. Amara sat up fast, her breath catching.
"No, I dropped it in the hallway," she whispered.
She reached out and touched it, warm again, just like last night. Her door creaked open. "Amara, breakfast," called Nana Rose. Amara quickly hid the key under her pillow. She didn't want her grandmother to see it. Something told her this wasn't an ordinary key. At the table, Nana Rose hummed softly as she poured tea, trying to act normal. But Amara noticed the woman's hands were shaking again. "Grandma," Amara said slowly, "what if someone put the key there?" Nana Rose's spoon froze midair. "What key?" "The one for the locked door." Nana Rose's eyes went wide, her face turning pale. "Amara, tell me you didn't touch it." I found it in the hallway. I didn't use it," Amara replied quickly. Nana Rose stood up, her voice trembling. "That key disappeared years ago. I threw it in the river myself." Amara stared in shock. "Then how is it back?" The old woman didn't answer. She looked toward the hallway, her eyes full of fear. "The house remembers," she whispered. Amara didn't understand, but she could feel something dark in the air, something that didn't belong. Later that day at school, Amara tried to forget about the key. She sat next to her best friend Lila, pretending everything was normal. But she couldn't focus on anything. Lila poked her arm. "You good?" "You look like you saw a ghost," Amara sighed. "I think my house is haunted." Lila rolled her eyes but leaned closer. "Haunted? What happened now?" Amara told her about the whispers, the glowing key, and her grandmother's fear. Lila frowned. "That's weird. Maybe your grandma's hiding something." Amara nodded. "I think so too. She said the door took my mother." Lila blinked. "Took her? Like kidnapped?" "I don't know. But the voice behind the door sounded like her. I swear it did." Lila looked uneasy now. "You should stay away from that door." "Promise me, Amara." Amara forced a small smile. "I'll try." But deep down she knew she wouldn't. The key's image haunted her every time she blinked. That night, when Amara came home, Nana Rose was asleep on the couch. The old woman's Bible lay open on her lap. A candle burned beside her, its flame shaking slightly. Amara went upstairs quietly. She pulled the key from under her pillow. This time the glow was stronger and faint whispers filled her room. "Amara, please help me." The voice was soft, full of sadness. It made her heart ache, she whispered. "Mom?" The voice answered, trembling. "Yes, baby, it's me. I've been trapped here so long." Tears filled Amara's eyes. "Where are you?" "Behind the door," the voice said. "Only the key can free me." Amara stared at the key in her hand. Could it really be her mother? But something in the tone felt strange, like the voice wasn't only her mother's. Still, she couldn't stop herself. She stepped into the hallway, her bare feet cold on the wooden floor. The old door stood there waiting. The metal chain rattled softly, though there was no wind. Amara raised the key, her hand shaking. Just as she was about to put it in the lock, "Amara!" She jumped. Nana Rose stood at the end of the hallway, her face pale and angry. "What are you doing?" "I heard her." "I heard Mom." Nana Rose rushed forward, grabbing her arm. "That thing behind the door is not your mother." Amara pulled away. "You don't know that." Tears filled the grandmother's eyes. "I do." "Because it took her voice years ago." Amara froze. "What do you mean?" Nana Rose looked at the door with pure fear. "Your mother tried to open it. She said she heard her own mother calling from inside. But when she turned the key, the voice changed. It was something else, something dark. She screamed, "Ah," and the door locked itself. She was gone. Amara's heart pounded. "You're lying." The old woman shook her head. "That door feeds on love. It calls you with the voice you miss most." Amara dropped the key. It hit the floor with a metallic ring and rolled slowly toward the door, stopping just in front of it. Nana Rose whispered a prayer, pulling Amara away. Never touch it again. They went back to bed, but Amara couldn't sleep. Every sound made her flinch. Every creak of the wood made her look at the door. Then, sometime after midnight, she felt something cold brush her cheek. Her eyes opened wide. The key was lying on her chest. She gasped and threw it away. But when she looked again, it was gone. She sat up in fear and saw something written on her mirror. 3 words drawn in fog. "Let me out." Her heart nearly stopped. She backed away slowly. From the hallway came a soft knock, once, twice, then a whisper. "Amara." "You can't hide from blood." She screamed, and the lights went out. The camera slowly zooms in on the mirror, the words glowing faintly in the dark. The next morning was silent. Too silent. The air inside the house felt heavy, like something unseen was watching. Amara sat at the edge of her bed, staring at the fogged mirror. The words "let me out" were gone, wiped clean, but she knew she hadn't done it. The memory of that voice, the way it said her name, still echoed in her mind. Downstairs, Nana Rose moved slowly around the kitchen. Her eyes looked tired, her steps weak. She hadn't spoken much since last night. Amara joined her quietly. The smell of tea filled the air, but it didn't feel comforting. "Grandma," Amara said softly. "What if the voice really is Mom?" Nana Rose didn't look up. "It's not her, Amara, it can't be. Once you listen to the door, it never stops calling." "But she said she's trapped," Amara whispered. "What if she needs my help?" Nana Rose sighed, setting down her cup. "If you open that door, child, you'll set free something worse than death." Amara didn't answer. Her eyes dropped to her lap, hiding the thought that burned in her heart. What if Grandma is wrong? At school, Amara was quiet all day. Lila noticed it right away. "Okay, spill it," Lila said, walking beside her. "You've been acting like you're in a horror movie." Amara told her everything. The voice, the mirror, the writing, the key returning on its own. Lila stopped walking. "That's not normal, Amara. You should tell someone." Amara gave a weak laugh. "Who's gonna believe me? Hey, there's a talking door in my house. They'll think I'm crazy." Lila bit her lip. "Then maybe I should come over." "You shouldn't be alone there." Amara smiled a little. "You sure? My grandma might not like it." "I'll bring snacks," Lila said. "Even ghosts like snacks, right?" Amara laughed for the first time in days. But deep down she was still scared. Not of the ghost, but of what might be true. That night, the house was quiet again. Too quiet. Lila was sleeping over, lying on the floor beside Amara's bed. The glow of a small lamp cast soft shadows across the room. Amara tried to sleep, but the sound came again, a faint knock, 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 knock. She sat up fast. "Lila," she whispered. "Did you hear that?" Lila turned sleepily. "It's just the wind," but Amara knew it wasn't. She walked slowly to the hallway. The air was cold, colder than usual. Her bare feet touched the wooden floor, and the sound of each step echoed. The door stood there, as dark and still, yet somehow alive. Then the whisper came again. "Amara." Her breath caught. It was the same voice, unsoft, broken, full of pain. "Amara, baby." "It's Mommy, I miss you." Amara's eyes filled with tears. She whispered back, "Mom, is it really you?" "Yes," the voice answered. "I'm so cold. Please open the door." Before Amara could reply, Lila appeared behind her. "Amara, what are you doing?" Amara turned. "It's her, Lila. It's my mom." Lila's face turned pale. "You don't know that. It could be something else." Suddenly, the door rattled violently. The chain shook. Lila screamed and ran back into the room. Amara froze. The sound stopped. Silence again. Lila grabbed Amara's arm. "Please, let's go back to bed." They went back to the room and locked the door. Both of them lay awake, listening to the faint whispering that seemed to drift through the walls. The next morning, Nana Rose was worse. She sat at the table, coughing, her face pale. "Grandma, you need a doctor," Amara said. "I'll be fine," Nana Rose whispered weakly. "The house is angry. It knows you heard her." Amara frowned. "The house?" Nana Rose nodded slowly. "It's alive, child. That door is its heart. Every time you answer the voice, it grows stronger." Lila looked shocked. "That's crazy." But when she glanced at the walls, she swore she saw them pulse just once, like they were breathing. Later that day, Amara sat by her window, holding her mother's photo. What if Grandma's just scared? What if it's really you, Mom? She whispered. The wind outside picked up and the photo slipped from her hand. When she bent to pick it up, she saw something strange. Black marks on the floor leading toward the hallway. Like burnt handprints, Amara's heart pounded. She followed them carefully. The prints stopped right at the locked door. She stepped closer, her hand trembling. Mom? She whispered. The voice came again, quiet and desperate. Please, I'm so close. Her hand hovered over the keyhole. Then she noticed something. Her reflection in the door's shiny metal handle wasn't moving. It was smiling back at her. Amara gasped and stepped back. What are you? She shouted. The reflection laughed, a soft, cruel laugh that echoed inside her head. Suddenly, Nana Rose cried out from her room. Amara ran to her, Lila right behind her. They found the old woman lying on the floor, gasping for breath. Dark marks like black veins were crawling up her neck. Grandma, Amara screamed. Nana Rose grabbed her hand tightly. It's trying to come through, she whispered. Don't listen to it anymore. Amara's eyes filled with tears. What can I do? Her grandmother looked toward the door. You must be stronger than your mother. And then Nana Rose fainted. Amara sat beside her, shaking, her heart breaking. Lila whispered, We need help. But before they could move, a deep, slow knock came from the hallway. Knock, knock, knock. They turned toward the sound. The camera slowly pans down the hall, where the locked door now stands slightly open. Just an inch, and a soft voice whispers from the dark. You already did. The morning light fell through broken blinds, cutting lines of gold across Amara's face. She had barely slept. All night she kept hearing soft footsteps outside her door, but when she checked, no one was there. Nana Rose was still weak, resting in her bed. Her breathing was rough, her face pale. Lila stayed by Amara's side, refusing to leave. The house felt colder than ever, and even the air seemed heavy, like the walls were holding secrets. Amara walked to the bathroom and turned on the sink. As she looked into the mirror, her heart skipped. For a split second, she saw someone standing behind her, a woman with long, tangled hair and dark eyes. She spun around. No one was there. Her voice shook. Lila, did you see that? Lila came running. See what? Amara pointed at the mirror. There was someone, a woman. She paused. She looked like my mother. Lila frowned. You're just tired, Amara. You haven't slept in days. But Amara wasn't sure. The reflection still felt wrong. When she looked again, her reflection didn't move exactly with her. It was delayed, like it was thinking before copying her. A chill ran down her back. Later that day, Amara sat beside her grandmother. Nana Rose was half awake, whispering softly to herself. Amara held her hand. Grandma, what's happening to this house? She asked quietly. Nana Rose opened her eyes, weak but full of fear. It's the curse, she said slowly. The door binds what's inside. But when you listened, you gave it power. Now it's using faces you love. Amara swallowed hard. It looks like Mom, the old woman nodded, because it knows that's who your heart misses most. Amara felt tears burn her eyes. How do I stop it? Nana Rose's voice was barely a whisper. Don't look into mirrors. Don't listen to the whispers. If you do, it will find a way in. But that night, Amara couldn't help herself. The whispers returned, floating through the walls. Amara. She covered her ears. Go away. The voice grew softer. I just want to see you, baby. Her eyes filled with tears. If you're really my mom, show me something only you would know. Silence, then the voice said, You used to sing before bed. The song about the stars. You'd hold my finger while you sang. Amara froze. Only her mother would know that. She felt her heart twist. Mom? Please, Amara, the voice begged. Just look at me. Amara slowly turned toward the mirror on the wall. Her reflection was smiling. But she wasn't. Her blood ran cold. The reflection lifted its hand and waved. Amara. It said softly, though her lips hadn't moved. You can help me. I'm trapped behind the door. Use the key. Amara stepped back, terrified. The reflection's smile faded, turning into anger. Why won't you help your own mother? Then the lights flickered. Lila burst into the room. Amara, what happened? Amara pointed to the mirror. It was talking. It looked like me then, but it wasn't me. Lila stared at the mirror, confused. I don't see anything. Suddenly, the mirror cracked from one corner to the other. A cold wind rushed out, blowing through the room even though the window was shut. The two girls screamed and ran out, slamming the door behind them. Downstairs, they found Nana Rose struggling to sit up. It's trying to break free, she said weakly. It wants a body on your body. Amara felt dizzy. Why me? Because you are its blood, Nana Rose replied. It feeds on your family's voice. It took your mother. Now it calls for you. Lila's voice trembled. We have to destroy that key, Amara nodded. Yes, let's do it. They searched for the key and found it lying under Amara's pillow again, glowing faintly. As if it knew what they were planning. They went to the kitchen, placed it on the counter and lit a match. Lila whispered, Let's end this. She dropped the match on the key. A high, sharp scream filled the air. Not from their mouths, but from the key itself. It glowed brighter, turning red, then black. The lights flickered wildly. Dishes fell, the floor trembled. The scream stopped, and smoke rose from the counter. When it cleared, the key was gone. Lila sighed in relief. It's over. But Amara wasn't so sure. The wind outside stopped completely. The silence that followed felt too deep, like the house was holding its breath. That night, Amara dreamed of a little girl sitting in front of the locked door. The girl's face was pale, her eyes empty. Amara walked closer. Who are you? The girl whispered. You know me. When Amara looked closer, her stomach dropped. The girl looked exactly like her, but younger. The little version of her smiled eerily. You opened the way. Amara woke up with a scream. She sat up, sweating, gasping for air. Lila was still asleep beside her. But something caught Amara's eye. Deep scratches on the locked door at the end of the hall. She got up slowly, her legs trembling. The scratches spelled one word, tonight. Before she could move, the key appeared again, this time already in the lock. It turned once. Click. Amara's eyes widened. She stumbled backward, whispering, No. No. From behind the door came a soft, broken laugh, the same voice she once thought was her mother's. Thank you, Amara. You finally let me in. The door creaked open a few inches. Cold air rushed through the hallway. The camera pans in slowly. The darkness inside the room seems to move like smoke. A shadowed figure steps forward, whispering, You shouldn't have looked in the mirror. The whole house was silent when the door began to move. The key, glowing faintly, turned by itself. Click. Amara froze in the hallway. Her breath turned cold. The air grew heavy and a low whisper spread through the walls like wind through trees. Amara. It was the same voice. Soft. Calm. But now, it sounded closer. Too close. She took a slow step back, staring as the lock twisted again. The chain fell off, clattering to the floor. The door slowly opened just a few inches, revealing nothing but blackness inside. Amara's hands shook. Her voice came out weak. Who's there? Silence. Then a soft laugh, the kind that makes your skin crawl. Lila ran into the hallway, her face pale. Amara, what did you do? I didn't open it. Amara shouted. It just did it on its own. Cold air rushed past them, smelling of dust and something old, like rotten wood and rain. The walls creaked as if the house itself was alive. Lila grabbed Amara's arm. Close it! We have to close it. But when Amara pushed, it wouldn't move. The darkness inside seemed to pull at her hand, like invisible fingers holding her back. From inside, the darkness came a whisper. Don't be afraid, my child. Amara's eyes filled with tears. Mom, Lila whispered, No, that can't be her. The darkness inside began to swirl, like smoke coming to life. Shapes moved within it, and shadows with no faces. Then from deep inside, a woman stepped forward. She looked exactly like the woman in Amara's photo. Soft eyes, gentle smile, and the same necklace her mother used to wear. Amara's voice trembled. Mom, the woman smiled. You've grown so much. I missed you, Amara. Lila stepped back slowly, shaking her head. Something's wrong. The woman looked at her. Her smile vanished. You shouldn't be here. The lights flickered. Lila screamed as the shadow around the woman stretched out, covering the floor like black water. Amara felt her knees weaken. What's happening? Her mother reached out her hand. Come here, baby. Let me hold you. Amara hesitated. The warmth in that voice felt real, too real. She took a step forward. Then, a weak voice called from behind them. Amara, don't. It was Nana Rose standing at the end of the hallway, leaning on the wall for support. Her face was pale, her eyes full of fear. That's not your mother, she cried. It's the shadow that took her. The woman's face changed. Her smile twisted into something cruel. Her eyes turned black. Always getting in the way, old woman, she hissed. Amara screamed. Lila pulled her back as the shadow shot forward, crawling up the walls and ceiling. The door flung open wider. Inside was no room, just endless darkness. Nana Rose held up her hand, clutching a small charm and whispering old words Amara couldn't understand. The shadow screamed, pulling back for a moment. Amara grabbed her grandmother's arm. What is it? What is that thing? Nana Rose's voice shook. It's an echo spirit. It takes the voice of the one you love most and uses it to feed. Amara looked at the woman who now smiled from the doorway. You're lying, she said. That's my mother. The shadow smiled wider. If I'm not her, why do you remember my song? She began to hum softly. The same lullaby Amara's mother used to sing when she was little. Amara's heart broke. She could almost feel her mother's arms again. Nana Rose cried out, "Don't listen!" But Amara couldn't move. Her feet were frozen, her eyes locked on the shadow that looked like her mother. Then Lila shouted, "Amara! Look at her hands." Amara blinked and gasped. The woman's fingers were long, thin, and black like smoke. Her smile had grown too wide. Her eyes were hollow. Amara stumbled back. "You're not hurt." The shadow laughed, a terrible sound that echoed through the house. "But I can be, if you just let me in." It reached forward, and the lights shattered. When the light returned, the door was wide open. The hallway was filled with cold mist. The walls were wet, and every mirror in the house had cracked. Nana Rose had fallen to the floor, breathing heavily. Amara and Lila helped her up. "Close the door," Nana Rose said weakly. "You have to close it before it crosses over." "But how?" Amara cried. "The key," Nana Rose pointed to the floor. The key was lying there again, still glowing. But now it was black in the middle, as if burning from the inside. "Use it," Nana Rose said. "Lock it before it's too late." Amara picked it up, her hand shaking. She turned to the door, but the shadow inside laughed. "You can't stop what's already begun." The floor started to crack. The lights flickered again. Amara pushed the door, but something strong held it open. The air was full of whispers, hundreds of them speaking at once. Lila shouted, "Do it, Amara!" Amara screamed and forced the door shut. It slammed closed with a loud bang. The whole house shook. The lock clicked. The key fell from her hand, smoking. Silence. The air grew still again. Amara fell to her knees, gasping. "It's over." Nana Rose shook her head slowly. "No, child. It's never over. Once the door opens, it always leaves something behind." Amara looked at her grandmother, confused. "What do you mean?" Lila pointed to the mirror on the wall. Amara turned and froze. In the reflection, the door behind her was still open, and standing there was the shadow, smiling. The air in the house felt heavy after that night. Nothing was normal anymore. Every sound made Amara flinch, the creak of the floor, the whisper of the wind, even the ticking of the old wall clock. The door was closed again, but Amara knew it wasn't over. Sometimes when she passed it, she could hear soft breathing from behind it. It was like something alive waited there, patient and hungry. Lila had gone home after the long, terrifying night. Nana Rose was still weak, lying on her bed with a damp cloth on her forehead. Amara stayed beside her, holding her hand. "Grandma," Amara whispered, "I need to know. What is that thing? What is this door hiding?" Nana Rose opened her eyes slowly. Her voice was weak but clear. "It started before you were born, child. Long before." Amara leaned closer. "This house was built on a place of pain," Nana Rose said. 100 years ago, a woman who practiced dark things lived here. She wanted to open a path between the living and the dead. She created that door, not as an entrance, but as a prison." Amara's eyes widened. "A prison?" "Yes," Nana Rose said. "She locked away a spirit so cruel that it could twist itself into the faces of those you love. She called it the Echo." "The Echo?" Amara whispered. Nana Rose nodded slowly. "It feeds on voices, on love, on sorrow. When your mother was alive, she didn't believe in my warnings. One night she heard her own mother calling. The voice sounded so real that she used the key. Amara felt tears in her eyes. And that's when it took her? The old woman's lips trembled.
Yes, the moment she turned the key, she was pulled in.
I tried to save her, but the door closed by itself. I could still hear her voice for days. But it wasn't her anymore. Amara covered her mouth, shaking her head. It's my fault, Grandma. I opened it again. Nana Rose squeezed her hand weakly. No, child. The spirit would have found another way. It's drawn to you because of blood. You're its last link to this family. It wants you to finish what your mother started. Amara looked toward the hallway where the door waited in silence. Her heart pounded. Then how do we stop it? Nana Rose coughed, her voice growing faint. There's only one way. The spirit must be sealed again, but only the blood of the one it calls can close it forever. Amara froze. You mean me? The old woman nodded slowly. You have to be brave, Amara. You have to finish it. But don't trust what you see. It lies. It can wear your mother's face, my face, and even your own. That night, the rain began to fall again. Amara sat near her window holding the photo of her mother. Lightning flashed across the sky. She heard it again, the soft hum of a lullaby. Her mother's song. Amara turned toward the mirror. The reflection showed her mother sitting on the bed behind her, smiling softly. Mom, Amara whispered. Her mother's reflection spoke gently. You don't have to be afraid anymore. You can end this. Come with me. Amara turned around fast, but there was no one on the bed. When she looked back at the mirror, her mother was still there. Amara's heart raced. You're not real. The reflection smiled wider. If I'm not real, then why do you still love me? The room grew darker. The reflection stood up. All you have to do is open the door. Free me. Free yourself. Amara backed away, tears in her eyes. No, you're not my mom. The reflection tilted its head. Then why do I remember your song? Lightning flashed again. The mirror cracked, and from the cracks came black smoke swirling into the air. The voice changed and deeper, colder. You can't fight blood, Amara. You belong to me. Amara screamed and ran out of the room. The walls groaned as she passed. The lights flickered. Downstairs, Nana Rose was sitting up now, whispering prayers. The air smelled like burning metal. Grandma, Amara shouted. It's in the mirrors now. The old woman nodded weakly. It's breaking the seal. You have to end it, child. How? Nana Rose looked at her, her eyes filled with both fear and love. You must use the key one last time, not to open but to close. Amara shook her head. If I go near that door, it'll take me too. Her grandmother reached out a trembling hand and touched her cheek. You have something your mother didn't have. Faith, Amara held the key in her hand. It was colder than before, almost frozen. The house trembled. From upstairs came the sound of a woman crying. Amara, please. It hurts, Amara took a deep breath. I have to do it. Nana Rose smiled weakly. I'll help you, child. But hurry, it's getting stronger. They walked down the hallway together. The door seemed to pulse with every step like a beating heart. When they reached it, the key glowed faintly again. The air around them turned icy cold. Amara whispered, What if it's too late? Her grandmother answered softly, Then you fight till your last breath. The whisper from behind the door grew louder. Her mother's voice again. Amara, don't listen to her. She's lying. I'm really here. Please, baby, open it. Tears streamed down Amara's face. I can't tell what's real anymore. Nana Rose whispered. Listen with your heart, not your ears. Amara closed her eyes. The voice changed, deeper, echoing. The fake mother's tone melted into a growl. You can't shut me out. I'm inside you now, Amara shouted. No, you're not, and pushed the key into the lock. The floor cracked. The walls shook. The door screamed like a living thing. Nana Rose fell to her knees, still chanting prayers. The darkness began to pull back, fighting against the light that came from the key. Amara screamed, forcing the door closed with all her strength. The spirit shrieked, the sound sharp enough to make the glass shatter. Then silence. The door clicked shut. The house went still. Amara fell to the floor, gasping. The key dropped from her hand. Nana Rose crawled closer, whispering, You did it. But Amara looked up slowly and saw something that made her blood turn cold. The lock on the door was glowing again, this time from the inside, and a soft whisper came through the wood, her own voice saying, Let me out. The house was silent again, too silent. Amara sat on the cold floor, shaking, staring at the door she had just locked. Her breath came in quick, uneven gasps. The key lay beside her, dark and cracked. The glow from it had faded, but the silence felt wrong. Then she heard it. A faint whisper, but it wasn't her mother's voice this time. It was her own. Let me out. Her eyes widened. She backed away from the door slowly. No, she whispered. That's not me. The voice came again, clearer now, matching her tone, her rhythm. Amara, please. You're trapped inside, her heart pounded. She turned toward her grandmother. Nana Rose sat weakly by the wall, clutching her chest, breathing hard. Grandma, Amara said, trembling. It's using my voice now. Nana Rose's eyes filled with tears. That means it's almost done. It's trying to replace you. Replace me? Amara asked, fear filling her chest. The old woman nodded slowly. When the spirit can't break free, it tries to pull your soul inside and take your place outside. That's how it survives. Amara's hand shook as she picked up the broken key. Then I'll destroy the door. Her grandmother reached for her hand. No, if you destroy it, it might escape. You must seal it in for good. Amara stared at the door. The wood was beginning to move, twisting like something alive beneath the surface. Cracks spread across it like veins. She whispered, It's still fighting. The voice grew louder, still sounding like her own. You're the one behind the door. You're the shadow. I'm the real one. Amara covered her ears. Stop it! But even with her ears covered, the voice was inside her mind now, whispering softly. You're tired, Amara. You don't have to fight anymore. Come rest, come home. For a moment, her body felt weak. Her eyelids grew heavy. The voice was warm, comforting, and too familiar. Then she heard another sound. Her grandmother's voice, faint but firm. Don't listen, child. Remember who you are. Amara took a deep breath. She opened her eyes and stared at the door. You can't trick me anymore. The door vibrated. The voice laughed, a perfect copy of her own laugh. You think you're strong enough? You opened me once, you'll do it again. Amara gritted her teeth. Not this time. She looked around. On the floor beside her grandmother's chair was the old family Bible, pages torn and yellow but still glowing faintly with candlelight. Nana Rose whispered, Use the words inside. Say them while you turn the key. The light will seal it. Amara grabbed the book and found the page marked with an old red ribbon. The words were written in faded ink. Where there is darkness, call upon the light within. She pressed the key against the door. The wood burned where it touched. The voice screamed, Stop! It shouted. You'll kill her! Amara froze. Kill who? The voice changed again and softer, crying. Your mother. She's still here. Please, baby, don't lock me away. Amara's heart ached. She could hear pain in that voice. It sounded real, desperate. Mom, is it really you? A whisper answered, Yes, it's me. Please, you're hurting me. Tears rolled down Amara's face. Her hand shook. Nana Rose reached out weakly. Amara, it lies. Amara looked between the key and the door, torn between fear and love. What if Grandma's wrong? She whispered. What if it really is her? Then she heard something, faint, almost hidden under the spirit's voice. Another voice. Softer, weaker, but real. My baby. Don't open it. Amara's eyes widened. That second voice, and she knew it. Her real mother's voice, gentle and kind. The spirit screamed. No, that's me. I am her. Amara shouted, No, you're not, and pushed the key deep into the lock. The house exploded with noise. The lights burst, the walls shook, the floor cracked. Shadows poured from the door like smoke, twisting and screaming. Nana Rose began to pray loudly. The glow from the Bible spread through the room, covering the walls with soft golden light. Amara cried out as the key burned her hand, but she didn't let go. The spirit shrieked, You can't destroy me. I'm you. Amara screamed back, You're nothing. The key turned, click, a blinding light filled the hallway. The scream stopped. The shadows vanished. The door glowed white for a moment, and then went completely still. Amara fell to the floor, breathing hard. The key had melted to ash. Silence. Only the sound of rain outside. She looked toward her grandmother. Nana Rose smiled weakly. You did it, child. You freed her. Amara crawled closer. Grandma? The old woman's eyes began to close. I can rest now. Amara shook her head, crying. No, don't leave me. Nana Rose whispered one last word, light, and then went still. Tears fell down Amara's face as she held her grandmother's hand. The house was quiet again, peaceful. The next morning, sunlight filled the rooms. The air felt warm for the first time in days. Amara walked slowly through the hallway. The door stood there, no longer glowing, no longer whispering. Just a normal door again. She placed her hand on it. "It's over," she whispered. As she turned to leave, something caught her attention. A faint sound. A child's voice, soft and curious, coming from behind the door. "Mommy?" Amara froze. Her heart began to race again. She turned slowly toward the door. The camera moves closer to her face and her eyes wide with fear. Then from behind the door came one final whisper. "It's your turn now."